Good morning and welcome to the 445 Productive Through Joy show with your host and your boy, Dr. Michael Datcher. Today we're talking about George Floyd and justice and abundance. George Floyd was a young man in Minnesota who was killed while breathing while black, stopped on a traffic stop, uh, held on the ground with the officer's knee until he died. Um, and on this show, where we talk about joyfulness and justice and abundance, it's difficult to be joyful in the context of seeing black people assassinated, lynched before our eyes. Yet we have to take action and respond. And so today's show is really about that connection. What does joy have to do with justice? What does George Floyd's death have to do with abundance? That'll be our topic for today. So thanks for being here. If you are new, you can go to productivethroughjoy.com. We speak to groups, schools, and organizations about being productive through joy, even in times like these. We have a whole series of workshops and programs, and you can check the website there. If you're new, allow me to say a few words about myself. This is your host, Dr. Michael Datcher, author of the New York Times bestseller Raising Fences, author of the acclaimed historical novel Americas, author of the Pulitzer Prize nominated Animating Black and Brown Liberation, A Theory of American Literatures. I'm the board president of a great nonprofit here in Los Angeles' Crenshaw District, known as the World Stage. My educational background is UC Berkeley as an undergrad, my master's from UCLA, and my PhD in English literature from the University of California at Riverside. I guess I'm an expert at being productive. Highly accomplished, but that will not stop me from being killed by the police. It will not stop people from calling the police on me if I happen to be bird watching in Central Park, or it won't stop colleagues from demonizing me at an academic institution because they can. They can frame black bodies in ways that are, to their benefit, basically. But I've experienced all those things. I know that certainly black professionals know of that which I speak, what you go through in dominant white environments as a black professional who's excellent at what they do. Good luck. And so all of that relates to George Floyd, because George Floyd literally is me. So I've been stopped by the police. I've had guns pulled at me from the police since I was 10 years old. My education hasn't stopped that. My excellence hasn't stopped that. You know? So when I saw the videotape of George Floyd, I was really, like many of us, disturbed. I couldn't even go forward. Had a bunch of work to do. I just couldn't even go forward yesterday. I had to go to sleep. So much to deal with after writing a letter to the DA in that county, obviously, and doing other stuff. But I was so distraught. And so this morning, we have a show called Productive Through Joy. I have a consulting firm called Productive Through Joy. I have a big meeting today where we talk about joy as a technology to enhance productivity. And during times like these, when I'm distraught, I can only imagine what Mr. Floyd's family is going through, his friends are going through. I saw Steven Jackson, a friend of his, the ball player. Steven Jackson posted a really emotional, powerful IG posting, just talking about his friend, dead. For what? It's really extraordinary. And so that is why we are talking today about joy in this context and joy as a technology for heightened productivity. Because Mr. Floyd won't have any more opportunities to be productive through joy because he is dead. He was murdered by the police. It was a traffic stop. They said it was a forgery in progress. What is a forgery in progress? It killed a man because he was black and he was breathing. Those are the facts. And we know it's happened many, many times before. Again, I've had guns pulled on me by the police since I was 10 years old. It's ridiculous, right? So I know of what I speak. And so the connection between joy and productivity, Mr. Floyd, is that clearly in this country we have to deal with the fact that money speaks. You know, having money, having influence gives you influence and gives you better access to justice. Money won't itself provide justice, nor will a PhD, but organized money, organized pressure, balanced with what folks like Sean King are doing so effectively, organizing people. So there is not just one particular roadmap, or should there be, or one front in the battle. It needs to be all fronts. It needs to be all hands on deck. Part of that is straight up grassroots organizing, which a lot of us have been involved in for many, many years. And another part of it is just money, being able to fund organizations, fund work, for example, like the grassroots law project that Mr. King is involved in, fund Mr. King, and other folks who you think are doing a good job, and being able to donate to politicians, place pressure on the powers that be, because we know that this country responds to money, right? So when we can use our financial wherewithal and combine that with consciousness, because a lot of us who make money aren't always concerned about other people or using the money for what I would just call for good. I am calling us to do just that very thing. Let's use our money for good. You can still have your nice ride and get your red bottom shoes, whatever you want to do, but dedicate a percentage of that money to promoting justice, if you're Black especially, because it's going to be your kids getting shot the hell up, your kids stopped by the police, your kids having people call the police on them for bird watching and for saying, put your dog on the leash. I mean, and I know Black professionals are feeling this because we've all dealt with that so much. Our degrees and our money will not save us individually. We have to be a part of a larger movement. And being productive, being excellent is one conduit. That's how we can do it. That's how we can access our greatest potential earning power and our greatest organizational power, and then add that to a larger movement for justice and abundance for our communities and for other people as well, right? We know that when people are frustrated and unhappy and are being influenced also in part by Donald Trump, and we have to call out Donald Trump for this as well. This is Donald Trump's America. The division, having Stephen Miller be a senior advisor who is a old school white racist, old school white supremacist, the folks who he's had in his department, in his administration, Steve Bannon, the foundational element of the alt-right, right? Breitbart. I mean, these are folks who are openly racist. So this is George Floyd's blood also is on Donald Trump's hands, obviously, right? And not to mention the thousands of people dying from COVID-19 who are disproportionately Black. This is Donald Trump's America. This is obvious, right? So we have to get him out of office, obviously. He's going to try, of course, steal this election, which he's already setting up to do it now by appointing his boy as the head of the post, as the postmaster. So we all know what's going on. So this is a call for excellence. It's a call for being your joyful and most productive self, even in this type of context, because you want to have and play the long game, right? Mr. Floyd is dead. We cannot bring him back. What we can do is be our most excellent, productive selves to get the resources to honor his memory by fighting for justice and abundance for other folks who are disenfranchised, other folks who don't have full access to the American dream because we're Black and we're breathing. Thank you for listening. We'll see you this afternoon at 4:45 p.m. Peace and blessings.